Happy Tuesday, meteorologist Diane Phillips here, and I am happy to report that we have mainly dry weather out there. However, we do have overcast skies, so still kind of that dreary look out on our Jet Express cam. Nothing but clouds overhead, maybe a few lighter spots to where we can maybe well dream about catching a break in the clouds. But as we go through the day, I'm hoping to bring those chances of some sun in, but you can see these clouds, they are dominating the forecast. But that's pretty typical for winter. However, it's felt like anything but winter out there. However, marking the calendar, tomorrow will be March 1st. And that means that's the beginning of spring, at least for meteorologists, scientists, climatologists. In the science industry, we have to have an easier way to keep the data. So we use meteorological seasons. So this is what they are, kind of breaking this down. March 1st is going to be the beginning of spring. And we have that going from March 1st all the way through the end of May. And that's going to represent your spring season. Summer then will start on June 1, and that'll go all the way through the end of August. And you get the idea. Autumn then starts September going through November. And the winter season, when we go and look up those average snowfalls or see how it compares to other snowfalls, that's because we're pulling data from December 1 all the way through the end of February. And the reason that we have our seasons broken down into these solid months is then we have a little more consistency in the data. We're able to go and calculate those averages, figure out how our climate works in those normals. So this just gives us a little more consistency and ease as far as calculating that data, because when we kind of switch over and go to astronomical seasons, you'll find that that date can switch depending on your equinox or also the solstice. So if you're maybe not in that spring mindset just yet, maybe you're on astronomical seasons. You'll just have to wait about 3 more weeks. On March 20th, that's when we'll have the spring equinox. Now in June, sometimes we have the summer solstice. That can be on June 20th or the 21st. This year in 2023, it'll be on the 21st. That will mark then the start of summer for those who are going off of the Earth's tilt, the sun, and just that kind of momentum. But as you can see, just like last year, we had our autumn equinox. That was actually September 22nd. This year, it's the 23rd. And that can be a little bit of a nightmare for scientists when we're trying to calculate that data, not knowing in a solid starting point for us. So that's why we have those meteorological seasons compared to those astronomical seasons. And the biggest difference is just the starting date and then the ease of those calculations. So that's why you'll hear some meteorologists say, hey, it's the first day of spring when it's March 1st, but yet when you flip that calendar over on the fridge, you're going to say, wait, spring doesn't start until March 20th. So that's the difference for you. Now, though it's the last day of winter for us meteorologists, you're going to find no snow in the forecast. We have seen a little bit of lake effect off of Lake Erie, but like those clouds that we had on the Jet Express cam, they're kind of locked in place here. So they stretch all the way from that system we had yesterday, bringing that soaking rain, and then it kind of creates a horn shape as it goes out. So you're going to see that stretching all the way through Indiana into Illinois and even close to Missouri there, while we're waiting for another system that looks like it's trying to take shape. But thankfully, we do have some dry days in because we've just been waterlogged lately, and we're monitoring for more rain come Friday. Already we've been picking up over 1, 2, even towards 3 inches of rainfall in some of our local communities, and eyeing another 1 to 2 inches to be possible of heavy rain and downpours on Friday. For those of you who are running that sump pump in the basement, this is not what we want to see or even hear as we're going to be wrapping up the week. So we'll take a few dry days. Of course, I also know some of you have that waterfront property because you have just so many puddles sitting in your front yard or even the backyard. So just be mindful, we are not done with the heavy rain or downpours. Like I said, we've been picking it up as far as those rain buckets. Just in the last 5 days alone, you're going to find that Toledo, at the airport, we've recorded just over 3.5 inches. Findlay, just under 2 inches, but still healthy rain amounts. Defiance, just over 3 inches, and Port Clinton at about 2.5. So many of us have picked up about 2 inches, even close to 3.5 inches in just 5 days. That's more rain than what we've picked up for the majority of the month. So we're fairly waterlogged here as we wrap up February. And then if we add an additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall on top of it on Friday, you can definitely tell it's going to be about this 10-day stretch that we are going to be soaked and soggy. Now this is a look at the rain and snow chances for today. Thankfully, we're at a 0% chance, but by your Wednesday, we're still eyeing a slight isolated shower for Wednesday morning. Thankfully, Thursday, though, we can still towel off a little bit and dry out, but it's Friday. Like I said, we're watching for those heavy downpours. At least the timing, though, for the weekend, we do have dry weather for both days. And then, yeah, right on its heels, more rainfall in the forecast. So this busy pattern, though it could be snow, we're mainly just on the warmer side to where we are pumping out rainfall with a lot of these systems that have been buzzing through. So like I said, Friday, that's really going to be the day that we're monitoring for that rain and snow. That rain snow line going to be a component to watch out for. So we're going to see where the center of the storm tracks and where it will place that line. Right now, this storm isn't even over the land. It's over the Pacific Ocean. So once it gets over the land, we're able to send weather balloons up off the coast of California and kind of get a sampling or a taste of this system. And then those weather balloons will report the data back to us. And then we have a better understanding then of this system. But for now, once it makes landfall, we'll kind of pick that up towards California, and it's really going to drag off towards the southwest through the central plains. Here, with its counterclockwise rotation, it is going to spin up some of that moisture from the south, from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to really give us that rain component, but also then add to the heavy downpours as well. So as we track the center of this L, it's really going to be placing that rain snow line. So we're going to be seeing that jump around a little bit till about Wednesday, when we can finally get some of those weather balloons up into that system. So make sure you stay updated on that Friday storm with the WTOL 11 weather app. Even for any rain needs before then, hopefully it's not many, so we can get a break from radar. But also you'll have that daily tab, the hourly tab. You can always keep track of the weather that we have moving in. Now looking at that extended forecast, there's just those isolated showers for Wednesday morning, but at least we have mainly dry weather up until that Friday system. Temperatures today getting close towards 50 degrees, but we're in the upper 40s. Wednesday, fairly mild for us. As highs will be around 61. You'll find the 40s to get us through the rest of the work week. There's that system again. And then come the weekend, it's a little bit cooler. Temperatures just above that freezing mark. This would be below average for March standards. And then those temperatures do bump up a little bit, some upper 30s, some lower 40s. You'll find though that we are not rain free yet. We are going to be looking at still some rain chances on that Monday. But at least out of this whole 10-day stretch, we're only looking at 3 days of rain chances. So hopefully as we get into March, we can dry out a little bit, since February was a little bit of a wet finale here. Of course, though, like I said, on that Friday system, keep an eye on the WTOL 11 weather app. And also we'll have forecast updates here on WTOL 11+.